What up, peeps? It's your girl Dash coming back to Feral Takes. Today I'll be doing a review to the movie Alita Battle Angel, and let's just say this one is long overdue. I know they kept pushing the date back. You remember you guys back in 2018, around summertime, July was supposed to come out. Then it, of course, got pushed to December, and then it got pushed to February. Now here we are in February. The movie's come out. I got my chance to see it this past weekend, and let's just say I'm very happy. It was worth the wait. And I am very happy to say I enjoyed the movie immensely. Now, for this particular movie, this is basically around dealing with anime. And this is a part of anime that I was not familiar with. I did not read these, growing up. And I'm kind of mad at myself that I was totally out of, my element of not knowing about these. Now, these are based off of the graphic novels by Yukito Kishiro. He did a certain graphic novel series called Gum. Now, these are very, very well liked series, and let's just say the people that are the readers of these take this stuff very seriously, so much so that when this had been discussed, I want to say I knew about this almost a couple of years ago, that they were considering doing this. Now, before this movie was to come to be, another movie was to come out, and a lot of people got very excited for, me included, because like I said, even though I wasn't familiar with these particular novels in this particular anime manga, I was familiar with some other anime, and I remember hearing about Ghost in the Shell come out, so I was very excited. Of course, comes out, and let's just say it was lackluster, did not do very well. I got a lot of commentary in regards to being considered whitewashed. Just a mess, so when I kept hearing whispers that this was something, going to be coming up soon with Alita Battle Angel, I knew this was happening prior to that, because James Cameron had discussed wanting to work on this for a while. This has been in something, I think, over almost 10 years he'd been talking about doing. Now, with that instance, the reason he didn't do it sooner is because he was waiting, as he stated, for the technology to kind of catch up, and then he would definitely consider doing this. Now, I know he wanted to direct it, but then things started happening, whichever, and then he had to kind of, fall back, so he had to bring in a director, and that's when we got Robert Rodriguez. Now, I'm kind of glad, because this particular duo together, I think, did something very well with this movie, and I'm very happy. Like I stated to you guys at the beginning of this, I enjoyed this immensely. Now, this based off of, like I said, the manga from Yukito. Now, for the storyline, this basically has to center around like a cyborg doctor titled Ito, played by Christopher Waltz. He actually is the character who comes across a leader in a scrapyard in a town called Iron City, and of course he takes her. He basically, puts her together, and of course when she eventually wakes up, she is not aware of where she's at. She does not know who she is. She has no recollection of herself. So basically now she has to slowly navigate her life, almost starting from scratch, so to speak, whichever. Him, of course, being kind of like a father figure of sorts, he kind of helps her. Now, in the midst of this, she kind of goes through kind of like a naive type of, way of doing things, whatever, kind of, not aware of her surroundings, whatever. So like I said, she's basically learning, who she could trust, who could be considered a threat, learning, slowly over time who she is, having certain, flashbacks, whatever, and all that finally start putting, pieces together. Now, she does come across certain characters within this movie. One of them, of course, will be Hugo, played by Kean Johnson. He is someone who's very known in the Iron Sea, whatever. Of course, he does do work, to help, Ito. And then she comes across another character played by Jennifer Connelly. Her name is, I want to say, Sharon. I could be saying incorrect. My apologies. And then from there, you come across some people who are not so good, that she doesn't know well about, but then you will eventually, see within the movie. One played by Mahershala Ali, called Vector. And then another one is considered, a very, ruthless cyborg, kind of, bounty hunter called Zapan, played by Ed Skrein. And then there's some other individuals throughout the movie that you see. Another one played by, I want to say, Isa Gonzalez. Her name, let me write this out. Her name is Siana. Make sure I'm saying that correctly. And then you see another one called Gruwishka, played by Jackie Earl Haley. So you have all these different characters and a multitude of other characters throughout the movie. You love to see how she starts to build up a friendship bond, relationship with Hugo. Hangs out with him, his friends, where they learn certain things she learns about, of course, motorball, whatever. The way they're showing her, which comes into play later on in the movie. Then also just her understanding what she knows in regards to in some ways her physicality of not realizing when she starts to learn how to, defend herself, her fighting techniques, the way they showed her, just done beautifully, I thought. Now let me just tell you, Rosa Salazar did an amazing job playing Alita. She was awesome. Let me say, just her overall mannerisms, her behavior, I just the way her emotions are, because she's playing with this particular, when they do the CGI, whichever, this is all through her facial expressions, and it was just done. I mean, so a lot of people, when I was watching trailer reactions, a lot of people wanted to gravitate to the eyes, whatever, and all that. I could care less about that. It's not a big deal to me, whichever it goes and fits in with the look of what they're doing, because this is, of course, a certain era, in regards to years, and also with the simple fact that she's a cyborg. So I'm like, whichever. You'd be amazed how many people really kept just gravitating to that instead of the overall understanding of what Alita's doing, who she is, what is she, what's her importance, whichever. So moving from that. Then also just, her being able to do the certain sequences they do with regards to the action scenes, especially when you see the trailers, the most recent trailers they showed before the movie came out of the motorball scenes. Those are done very well. Honestly, it was just done really nicely. I did enjoy the scenes between Vector and Sharon, played by Mahershala, and then also Jennifer. Those were done very well. I love the scenes of Keenan playing Hugo and Alita. Those were done very well, because you can clearly see they were trying to build up the friendship, which was going to turn into more than a friendship, whatever, them, finally figuring out that they like each other, and, wanting to be there for each other and doing certain things to whichever, for them to go up to the ship that was in the air, whatever. There's a lot of things within the story that I'm not familiar with, so I can't really go into so much detail about that. Now, anybody who does Ring the Magna, this is totally things that they know about, whichever. Of course, there are people who probably might see some in my comment section. I have no problem with the proper, feedback or whichever, if I'm not, on par with that, and that's fine. Like I said, I did not read these, so I don't want to put myself out there in certain parts I'm not familiar with. But overall, for me, I basically went in there like this. I don't know too much about the overall script and storyline, whichever, but I enjoyed it for what it was, and also the action with this, and just not really thinking too much about that. Now, if I'd read it, it'd be a totally different story, because I probably would be analyzing every little bit of detail. Now, people who probably read that will do that, and that's just how it is, and there's nothing wrong with that. But for the story that I was giving from all the novels that they have, because I know they have to condense this, it's a lot probably to do to show a movie that's a little over 2 hours. So I'm hoping to the people who do read these, they did just due to that. I can say from what I've been hearing, Yukito actually is very happy with the final result or final product of the movie. From what I'm hearing, he's seen it at least 5 times, so that's probably a good thing. That means that he likes what he's seeing, and I'm kind of glad, because I feel like we probably will get a sequel, and I'm hoping we do. I think the movie is #1 at the box office, if I'm not mistaken. I heard that it made over 35 million, so it did beat out a couple of other movies that came out, so I'm happy for that. That is a good sign. Secondly, like I said, the overall CGI, the VFX was done very well. I saw this definitely in 3D, and I loved every minute of it. I'm definitely hoping we do get an actual sequel to this, because I feel like there's definitely unfinished business. I will say this, there's a particular individual in this movie, and I'm forgetting a name. He did embody Victor at times, whichever, and I feel like I'm forgetting his name, but my apology for that. But there's a particular actor that's in this movie. I had not seen him in anything as of lately, but I do feel like this person will definitely be in the next one, hopefully. And I want to say that's Edward Norton. He plays a key role in a certain particular scene or scenes throughout the movie that are very significant to Alita, and some of the things that she is finally being able to awaken in her mind, and understanding, her real true purpose, what she was doing prior to her, falling to earth, being a part of, Iron City, scrapyard, whatever, and all that, the destruction she went through. And I love that we saw small tidbits of flashbacks of that, which kind of put in perspective a lot of things about her and her character. Not a lot, but just enough that we can learn a little bit more as the story continues on with her journey. So I'm really, really looking forward to a sequel. fingers crossed, you guys, that we do get that one. But again, like I said, I really enjoyed this movie. It truly, honestly was worth the wait. I'm probably going to go see this again probably the following weekend, because I really want to see it probably one more time in the theater before they grab it. But I'm looking forward to this coming out. When it does come on DVD and get this in Blu-ray, I cannot wait to add this in my collection. Again, Rosa Salazar did an awesome job. I'm so happy for her. I love that James Cameron and Robert Rodriguez came together to do what they did to make this work. I know that James Cameron, like I've said many times, he is a perfectionist about his work. He did an amazing job, you know, of course, with Avatar, the visuals, everything when it first came out was just something totally out there for a lot of people. And it did very well. It's still one of the highest rated movies of all time, so clearly. And then, of course, other movies over the years he's done that you all know I love, like Terminator. I was like, please. So I should not have been surprised that he would have a little bit of his niche in this and being a part of this, you know, and then letting Rodriguez do what he needed to do to move the story along, whatever, with whatever visuals he had as well. So, and just knowing that Yukito Kishiro really enjoyed this. I think I saw a clip of him going to set just to see it up close, and I saw the humongous smile on his face, so I really feel like he definitely is happy. And like I said, to see it 5 times, yeah, that speaks volumes. So you guys comment below, let me know what you all thought of the movie. And with that said, guys, I will see you on the next review. You guys take care.